Hello, everyone, and welcome to Technology Tuesday, hosted by Out of the Box Technology. We're pleased to bring you these free webinars on Tuesdays that throughout the year have taken a deeper look as to what we do here at Out of the Box Technology. We've also been happy to welcome some of our partners to present on what they do with their services and solutions, and also focus on some tips and tricks from in and outside of QuickBooks and hot topics that our industry is encountering. My name is Jennifer, and I'll be your moderator today. I work with business development and customer relations here at Out of the Box Technology, and I've been pleased to be hosting Technology Tuesdays pretty much since I started with Out of the Box a couple years ago. A little bit about Out of the Box Technology, if you haven't joined us before. We work with businesses across all industries to provide expert QuickBooks training, integration, support, and hosting services. We have a whole team of bookkeepers and a great app development team that does website design, custom app development, and data migrations. Today, I'm very pleased to welcome our COO and founding partner, Lisa McCarthy, as she's going to dive into the consulting services that we offer here at Out of the Box Technology. So Lisa, with that, I'm going to hand things over to you.
Okay, great. Let me just show my screen here. Okay, Jennifer, are we good?
Yep, looks great, thanks.
Okay. So we do a lot of different things at Out of the Box Technology. One of our core services is around consulting. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about how we go about doing that and what we actually do during that process. Let me go ahead and advance. So this is just a little bit about my background. As you heard, I'm one of the founders of Out of the Box Technology. I'm also a founder of Recur 360, which is an application that we built from the ground up that integrates with both QuickBooks Desktop and online and solves for automating recurring invoicing, payment, and collection processes. It won top 10 new apps for Intuit a couple years ago, and we have processed millions of dollars in payments on the Recur 360 platform. So I encourage you to check that website out, recur360.com, when you get a chance. It's a great tool to manage those three things. We're also an Intuit solution provider. I'm on the Enterprise Council for Intuit and help them shape the future of their advanced inventory. Also, I'm certified in basically every version, every release, every product that Intuit produces. I'm actually the original author for Intuit's certification training courses for what's known as a professional advisor. Also speak across the country, and I've been on their advisor and customer council back in 2006 to 2008. So I've been using QuickBooks since it was DOS 1.0. It was on the market 2 weeks, and that's when I picked it up and started using it and suddenly became an expert in my field. So I live and breathe the product every day and work with businesses in all kinds of different industries. So what do we do at Out of the Box? We, from a consulting perspective, we really have two goals. We want to create streamlined accounting processes, and we want to give valuable operational reporting tools. So we want to take it beyond just providing a P&L and a balance sheet. We want to make sure that we can set up the system to slice and dice the data however that business owner needs to see it. It could be by location, it could be by like a partner in a law firm. If they wanted to see profitability by partner, it could be by product line. It could be, 1,000 other things. It could be things we have to solve for state reporting, for sales tax, or commission structures, or anything that business is trying to get their arms around and really focus in and take the software to the limit of what can be extracted out of it. That's really what we're trying to accomplish with our consulting services. So again, we consult on pretty much every version of QuickBooks out there. And in addition to consulting, we do recurring accounting and payroll services. We do data migration, so people moving from, Peachtree or Great Plains or some other application that want to convert to QuickBooks, or maybe they're on QuickBooks Online and they want to go to desktop, or they're on desktop and they want to go to online. We'll help them with all of that. We also will clean up things. If they've messed up parts of the software, we'll clean up whatever needs to be cleaned up and get them in a good place, tied out to their accountant's, trial balance from the last tax return. Just get them in a good place so that when they run financials, they're actually meaningful. We do a lot of just project accounting. So people that are just trying to get from point A to point B and need help getting there, we can put a team on it and get that done. We also sell product at a discount. And obviously we'll set it up and train and support. And then we also just do general business process consulting and coaching to business owners. So, and again, we've got 25 years of consulting. What kind of businesses do we work with? Pretty much any business that uses QuickBooks, we can help them. So we've worked in this space for such a long time. We've pretty much seen just about every business model out there. And we've, mastered a methodology to achieve whatever they're trying to achieve. So how do we start the process? We start with what's called a needs assessment. So what I want to do at the beginning is understand the client's business model. What are they selling? How do they make profit? What kind of expenses do they need to track? What kind of operational reporting might they need? And what are their pain points? What are they doing today that's not working that we need to solve for? And the third bullet, which is the reporting, that's really what I call reverse engineering. So I start with what reporting do you need out of the software, and then I work backward from there to align the setup to support those reports. And then a lot of times we get involved in discussions on, somebody bought QuickBooks Online and they're trying to do inventory by warehouse, and we're like, no, that's not going to work. So sometimes we have to consult with them on really what is the right application for them to be managing whatever it is they're trying to manage. Sometimes we can take a simple business model, put them on QuickBooks Online, and add a third-party add-on to sell for something unique. Other times, it's just a better option to go with the desktop route, maybe put them on hosting if they need remote access from workers in remote locations. So we really talk through even their work habits and how they need to access the data so that we can, again, get them on the right software. So when we're doing a needs assessment, we talk about the types of sales that they're doing. Do they have online stores that we have to integrate with? Are they going to need accounts receivable or progress invoicing? Do they need price levels? Some of these things only exist in the desktop version. So, we need to make sure that we can accommodate whatever it is they're trying to do. On the expense side, we ask questions around job costing. Or do they need multiple layers of approval for going from purchase order to a vendor bill? Are they going to be tracking credit cards, or do they need a third-party expense report solution? Then we get into inventory. If they're wanting to use inventory functionality, is it perpetual or periodic? Are they going to need assemblies, or is average costing okay, or do they need FIFO? Do they have more than one location? Do they want barcode scanning? So these are all just various questions that we go through during that business consult that we start with. We also talk about payroll. Do they need commissions? Again, are we trying to job cost the payroll? Reporting, do they need reports sent to their iPhone? Do they need it in the cloud? And what kind of taxes are they going to be responsible for? Sales and use tax? Are they in multiple states? Do they have payroll in multiple states? And then again, QuickBooks can't do everything, so sometimes we do have to look for outside apps that integrate with QuickBooks and can reduce some of the data entry. So we always try to do what we can do within the software and then solve for things we can't do with outside applications. So classic examples of that are manufacturing inventory. That's very popular to use an add-on like Fishbowl or Locate or something that can get way more granular in the details around bill of materials and things like that. Time capture, there's things like T-Sheets, which is owned by Intuit, recurring billing. As I mentioned, Recur 360 does a great job for that. So again, it's just a matter of doing the research and finding the right solution. So just some quick FAQs about our consulting. A lot of times people come to us and say, well, we just need training. And how much will that cost? Well, we can do training remotely. We can set up a group training, so you can invite as many people as you want. Everyone can be sitting in front of their own computer. And that tends to work even better than trying to do it in a conference room because people are more focused when they're just able to look at their own screen and they're not distracted by others. We can pass the mouse back and forth, share screens back and forth. So, you know, the remote technology today has really opened up our ability to do training that way. So if someone just wants training, they've got new staff, if they send us over a list of, we want to be trained on these 5, 10 things, we can say, okay, we think we can do that in a half hour. We think we're going to need an hour, or this is a half day. So depending on the list of topics, we can give you a quote for just training. Many times, though, we usually will probe a little deeper and say, is it just training, or is your file, are you thinking you need training because things aren't working in your QuickBooks file? If that's the case, then we encourage them to start with a business consult, because you don't want to train somebody on something that's already screwed up. You need to get to the root of the problem, solve for that, get them in a good place, and then do the training. The training is actually the easiest part. It's unraveling and unwinding things that people have done wrong to, you know, get to the bottom of that first, and then train them how to do it the right way going forward. So, and can we just fix the problem? Sure. If someone has a very specific issue, you know, I screwed up my bank rec and I can't figure out how to undo it, or, you know, go back to a good place and start over, we can do just a quick, what I call break fix appointment as well. So we try to just really get an understanding of what the client needs and then point them in the right direction as to where to start. So these are just some quotes from clients. We've got a bunch of them on our website, but, you know, our clients, our goal is to empower them to be able to work independently and utilize the tools of the software on their own. And, you know, when we are able to do that, they really are very, very happy. Okay, Jennifer, I know that was kind of quick, but I just want to, you know, reserve the remainder of the time for questions if people have them.
Absolutely. Thanks, Lisa. That was a really great just overview and kind of dive into what you awesome consultants do. I think that you really provide a lot of great services to our clients. So at this time, if anyone has any questions, you can go ahead and type those in the question panel on your GoToWebinar little control box there. And the first couple we have here, one is, can you convert an enterprise QuickBooks file back to Pro? You had mentioned about going from Pro to Enterprise, but can you go the opposite way?
Unfortunately, no. If someone needs to go from Enterprise to Pro, generally what we will do is we will export lists, and we'll use a product called Transaction Pro Exporter and Importer to extract out open payables and receivables and things that we need to move forward from Enterprise into a new QuickBooks Pro file.
Okay, great. Thank you. Our next question is, do you have any recommendations for multi-channel manufacturer or retailers using QuickBooks Online to track inventory? For example, something like Shopify, Amazon, direct invoicing, or Square, something that doesn't create excessive sales entries.
Well, that is a loaded question and a half. Probably could spend an hour talking about just that, but you're probably going to need to use some third-party tools. If you sell on PayPal, I know there's third-party tools for that. There's also for Amazon. So you want to start at if you just go to apps.com and see what apps integrate with QuickBooks and have the exact functionality that you're looking for, and then plan on integrating it to QuickBooks Online. You're not going to be able to do all that with just QuickBooks Online. And if you're wanting to track inventory, stock levels, you're going to have to look at something like a Fishbowl or a Locate or some other third-party inventory solution. So you might need multiple applications, I guess is what I'm saying, to manage everything that you're trying to do. So that's what we would flesh out in a business consult. And we have consultants in our firm that specialize in different things. So my business partner, Andrew, is really good at those kinds of topics. So we'd probably, if that was something you wanted to explore, we'd probably connect you with him as a starting point.
Great, thank you so much. So those are actually the only two questions that came in. Oh, no, sorry, we have another one here. We've been using that kind of piece-by-piece approach. This is the same gentleman who asked that question. We've been using the same kind of piece-by-piece approach and using our skills as the integrator. Sometimes that makes us more expensive. Any recommendations for justifying those fees?
Well, we kind of know already what works and what doesn't work. So rather than you trying to figure it out on your own, if you spend an hour with somebody who's kind of been there, done that, they can give you a lot of insight as to what probably won't work and what your options are to move forward. So the thing we bring to the table is the experience, right? A business owner has experience just in their little world. We see thousands of business owners trying to do thousands of different things. So our field of expertise is a little bigger because we're exposed to all these different scenarios that, we've seen it before, and you might be encountering it for the first time. So the fees really are to shorten your learning curve and to get you pointed in the right direction faster than you trying to figure it out on your own.
Thank you. Okay, our next question is, if I work with one of your experts this month and need help in 6 months, can I work with the same expert or do I have to get reassigned?
No, our team is here to help you. So if you work with somebody and you wanted specifically to be reconnected with them in the future, that's not a problem. When you call, you just say, hey, I worked with Mary before and she was great. She already knows what's going on in my business. I want to make sure I work with her. Then we would make sure to get you scheduled. Other times you just have a quick question that, anybody on our team could answer and it's kind of an emergency and you'll just take whoever the next available is. That's okay too. So you're welcome to specifically request someone if, and we usually look up and see who you worked with last to reconnect you with that same person when scheduling. So, and you can, our clients really never go away. We might work with somebody this year, get them all implemented, trained, work with them a lot, maybe in the first few months, and then they're off and running on their own, and then we don't hear from them again until tax time when they're trying to get everything ready for the CPA, and they've accumulated 3 or 4 or 5 questions, or they just want another set of eyes to look it over before they close everything up and send it off to the accountant. So, I have a lot of times where I work with a bookkeeper at one business and then they leave and go to another business as a bookkeeper, and then they encounter a whole different set of problems and they reach back out to us and re-engage us. That just happened this week. I think I've worked with the same girl at 4 different jobs over the last, 20 years. As she moves from one place to another, she keeps bringing me in to help her with the things that she doesn't know how to do in QuickBooks. So we're here when you need us. We don't do like fixed fee where you're obligated to pay a monthly support fee or anything. If you need us, we'll schedule with you, we'll remote in, we'll fix your problem and move on. So it could be a 15-minute call, it could be an hour, it could be a big project. Whatever it is that you need, that's what we're here for.
That's very true. Thank you, Lisa. Our next question is, will you work with accounting firms ad hoc?
Yes, we do a lot of work with accounting firms. We can bill the firm and you can bill the client. We have a lot of firms that refer bookkeeping to us to do the monthly bookkeeping, but we actually bill them and they bill the client direct. Sometimes the firm just wants us to bill the client direct. They just do a soft pass. We don't do tax work or anything like that, so we don't compete in the CPA space. We don't do tax planning or that kind of work. We always want to work hand in hand with whoever the accountant is to make sure that we're, our balance is tied to the tax return, retained earnings matches. We just want it to be a very smooth transition at year end to do the tax work with the accountant. So yes, we do a lot of work with CPA firms, either helping support their staff. Sometimes they'll run into something they haven't seen before and they need somebody to bounce ideas off of on how to fix it, or sometimes they just want us to do the work and they, contract us to do that. So absolutely, we work with tons of accountants.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. Those were all the questions that have come through. If you sign off of the webinar today, to those of you listening, and you think of something else, just jot down that phone number or email address that Lisa has on the screen. We can definitely answer any questions that you have about what we do here at the Box, or if you are ready to get started with a business consult and start working with us, we're here and we are ready to get you scheduled. So go ahead and those questions to us, and we really look forward to working with you. Lisa, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule today to do this presentation. It is recorded, so if anyone wants to go back and rewatch anything that Lisa went over, you'll get an email in about an hour with a link to that recording, so you can bookmark that. Also, I would like to invite all of you to register for any of our upcoming Technology Tuesdays. I'll go ahead and share my screen again here. We have a full schedule this summer, which is really exciting. Almost every week, we will bring you another presentation. Next week, we have our rep from Intuit to go over QuickBooks Payroll. So if payroll is kind of something that you're struggling with or needing a little guidance on, or just want know a little bit more about QuickBooks Payroll, we invite you to join us. And then we have one of our friends, QVinci, will be doing a presentation to wrap out the month of June. And then on throughout the summer, we have a couple other of our partner organizations that will be presenting with us. So thank you all who joined us today. We appreciate you on this early Tuesday morning. If you're watching on demand, welcome and thank you, and go ahead and email your questions. If you have a question, or if you have a topic that you want us to address, or just more information about us here at Out of the Box Technology, go ahead and reach out. There's my personal email address, again, our phone number. We are excited that we just merged with EBS Associates, who is located out in Portland. So we have East Coast and West Coast coverage now on our phones, so that's really great. So give us a call. We'd love to hear from you, and we'd love the opportunity to work with you. Lisa, thanks again, and we look forward to seeing you all Technology Tuesday.